Good morning, everybody, and thank you, Larry. Thank you, Kevin. Let me just start by adding my own welcome, and thank you all for joining us today at the Ibec CEO Conference. Like Larry, I'd just like to acknowledge PwC as our primary sponsor, also TRI, our communications partner, and our media partner, CNBC, for their ongoing support over the last number of years. As you've heard, today's event has been run in conjunction with Irish Design 2015, and it's going to examine how the thinking and approach that informs world-class design can be applied to business, but also to public policy, of which I will make some comment upon. Of course, what characterizes great design is great ambition. And 3 years ago, Ibec set out a vision of a country that could grow at 3 to 4% per annum every year for the coming decades. A country among the most prosperous regions of Europe, and a country with a quality of life and a standard of living to match. At the time, many were skeptical, perhaps understandably. However, after a year where Irish growth has outperformed the rest of Europe, and will do so again this year, and with key economic indicators all pointing in the right direction, it is increasingly clear that that vision is there for the taking. But it won't happen by accident. If current demographic trends continue, in less than 50 years' time, the island of Ireland will have a population of 10 million people, in contrast to the 6.4 million today. This is going to bring a range of new and exciting opportunities, but also challenges. And we have to start planning now and set out a clear, if ambitious, but still realistic objectives for that future. What I particularly like about Kevin's Grand Design Show is that it takes the viewer through all the stages of the process, as Kevin indicated this morning, right from the conception phase through to the often magnificent finished product. But perhaps what's most interesting are the pitfalls along the way, the accompanying drama that goes with that, plans that are not to scale, that in some cases windows that don't fit or the wrong size, and a budget that sometimes is massively off. The question for us is, can we design for an island of 10 million people? An Ireland with a state-of-the-art infrastructure, the right skills mix, and a level of income and economic activity to underpin such ambition. If you like, it's our own grand design I want to talk about this morning. These are very big questions. They'll require sophisticated answers. In the short time I have, I want to highlight three crucial elements that must inform our approach. These are issues with which Irish business is grappling with day in, day out. This is around investment, around jobs, and around taxation. In the first instance, we need to radically rethink how we plan and invest in our infrastructure and the built environment more generally. Right across the country, in all regions, both north and south, we need to look again at what needs to be built, how and where. Much needed new investment presents new employment opportunities. Also, a fresh opportunity to design better communities and more attractive commercial hubs. When it comes to public investment, we must plan for the significant economic and demographic growth we are anticipating. Sizable infrastructure gaps in the transport, health, education, energy, environmental, telecommunications sectors all need to be addressed, and all need to be addressed as a priority. We're currently working with our colleagues in CBI Northern Ireland to identify an all-island investment project, which we will launch formally in the coming months. Because as it stands, we're not investing nearly enough. Just last week, Irish 10-year borrowing cost dropped below 1% for the first time in history. And for the first time, we're now launching 30-year bonds, which are attracting yields of just over 2%. Now is the time to act. We need to take advantage of this once-in-a-generation opportunity and ramp up our public infrastructure investment to 4% of GDP by 2020. In today's terms, that's investment of near €8 billion a year. And we need to find new financial ways to connect the stock of private capital and savings that are in our economy with these productive investment opportunities to achieve this target, all while simultaneously honouring our international commitments under the Stability and Growth Pact rule. Of course, we've got to invest wisely. Take our transport network. It's far from complete. During the boom years, we successfully connected Dublin to the other main cities, but not to all the regions. There's still a job to do to better connect our major cities to each other. Housing is fast becoming the emerging major concern for our economy. Undersupply in key urban areas has the potential to undermine the competitiveness and make it more difficult to attract and to retain talented workers. We need a new national investment plan, and we need it quickly. We need it to be supported by a streamlined planning process and a new spatial strategy. A strategy that sets out a blueprint for a better balance of social, economic and infrastructural development right across the entire island. Turning to the jobs issue, we need a reform and a reinvestment in our education system and in the workforce more generally. You can design and build the best country in the world, but it will be the creativity and talent of our people that will make it a reality. Of course, predicting jobs of the future is difficult, if not impossible. So how do we best prepare our young people in particular for this highly uncertain and rapidly changing environment? Research and the experience of business suggests that a capacity and an appetite for continuous learning will be the most important attribute. This is why Ibec has long championed such reform. Some progress has been made. New plans for the apprenticeship system has the potential to open up new opportunities to school leavers, while at the same time giving companies the right skills and the experience they need. When it comes to the labour market, more generally, it's worth reminding ourselves we have come a long way, but we have a lot more to do. During the last 2 years, Irish businesses have created over 100,000 new jobs, bringing people back to work in jobs to provide families with new opportunities, entire communities with hope, a sense of value and purpose. So we're heading firmly back in the right direction, and Ibec predicts that the unemployment rate will fall below 9% this year. But it's an important start, the right trajectory. But wage pressures are clearly re-emerging in the economy, and this is a good thing. Many companies will be in a position to pay increases, but not all. Some companies are still recovering, beginning to get back into growth, but this is still fragile. And some parts of the country have yet to feel the recovery. So while in money terms the economy is still 6% behind where it was at the peak, and the price level is still not back to where it was in the summer of 2008, we need our wage expectations to reflect this reality. As I said, many are still in survival mode and simply cannot afford to pay. So given this backdrop, there is no appetite for a return to a one-size-fits-all national pay agreement. Any future possible engagement between business, government and unions and wider civic society can only have merit if it's anchored firmly in the need for jobs and secure competitiveness. This year, as I said, will be the first we'll see a significant cut in the unemployment, but we need to attract back migrants that left during the crisis. And we must not repeat past mistakes. We must not allow competitiveness to be put on the back burner, to lose our cost competitiveness, because we'll pay a very heavy price again in jobs lost. We must do it better, design it better this time. On tax, business is playing its part, the government must do the same. We must work together. When it comes to designing a tax system that supports long-term growth, productive investment, we need to reform and renew our tax code. Despite the welcome moves to reduce income tax burden in the last budget, and yesterday we saw quite a significant boost in tax revenue as a result. Then we also have a scope for do a lot more on this front. Many companies unable to afford pay cuts will find that the combination of some modest wage increases and tax cuts will boost disposable income of consumers and households, so reinforcing a virtuous circle of more activity, more jobs, more revenue, and an expanding economy. We're on the cusp of that point now. However, at 51%, we still have one of the highest marginal tax rates in the OECD. And as we all know, it kicks in at a very low level. It remains a barrier to investment and job creation, and it's a serious disincentive to work, to take a promotion, or to do overtime. The decision to retain an even higher marginal tax rate of 52% for those earning over €70,000 means we risk losing out on the best and the brightest to competing jurisdictions, countries with more sensible tax codes for that talent pool. To give you an example, a single worker here in Ireland earning €75,000 will take home €6,000 less than a similar worker in the UK. This is making it difficult for Irish business to attract and retain skilled workers. It also flies in the face of the shared aim of making Ireland a leading centre for design and innovation. The disparity between the self-employed and PAYE workers is another unjustified anomaly in the system and should be addressed as a matter of priority. So in conclusion, notwithstanding these issues I referred to at the end there, our economic recovery is justifiably the talk of Europe. A lot more effort is needed to secure this so that it becomes the talk and, more importantly, the reality of every city, every region, and every village in Ireland. We have a wonderful opportunity to lay the foundations for a new phase of our country's social and economic development, a phase that should be characterised by world-class infrastructure, productive investment, an education system that's fit for the 21st century, and a tax code that supports growth and rewards work. We need to be smart, nimble, and ambitious. We need to be relentless in our focus on competitiveness, something that we lost to our detriment in the last growth phase. So designing a new Ireland, an Ireland that works for business and citizens alike, is no easy task, but it's a job we all have a massive stake in. At Ibec, on behalf of Irish business, and working with you on Taoiseach, working with the government, we're ready to play our part. And today is a building one to inspire us that the grand design that we have for Ireland is achievable and within our grasp. And what a wonderful way to celebrate an anniversary that's been a blight on Ireland, to have 10 million people on this island within the next 35 years. We're the generation to actually do that. We have a responsibility to deliver. Today is the start. Thank you.